Hi guys, I'm Josh, welcome back to PhotoBite. Today, myself and Rob are going to be looking at the brand new Zhiyun Crane 3S, so let's get into it. With the announcement of the Crane 2S, we thought we would finally get into looking at Zhiyun's premium heavyweight gimbal, which is the Crane 3S, designed for those bigger cameras, and yeah, see what all the fuss is about. I currently own an older Crane 2 model, and it's a part of my everyday kit. I use it in pretty much every single one of my jobs. I use it as an all-day shooter for weddings, music videos. You know, I can hold on to the gimbal all day. And I'd like to see what the Crane 3S offers me in terms of versatility and whether it's worth the upgrade. So let's check out what's in the box. With the Zhiyun Crane SmartSling bundle option, we have this nice foam case with locking clips, the Crane 3S itself, a quick release tripod mount, 3 18650 batteries, the SmartSling handle, a micro tripod for setting up and for handling the gimbal in operation, a battery charger, rod extension mounts, a extension arm for those bigger camera setups, a camera riser plate, a nice box of goodies which include a whole bunch of different connectivity options, a grip extension arm, and a lens support, which is the only rose gold coloured piece on this kit. Unusual, but okay. Right, let's set it up. So we've come down to our local park to really test out the gimbals with something quite different, unique and special. We've got ourselves some really fast RC cars, about 30 to 50 mile an hour. So it's really going to put the 3S to its paces in terms of speed and torque. So let's give it a go. Build quality of the 3S is absolutely outstanding. It really does feel like a premium product. It is a combination of plastics and metals. However, the SmartSling handle, which has a clip in here, does feel really secure, and it does feel like it can take a really good payload, slinging it up and down without breaking at all. So the Crane 3S has these really handy locking nuts, especially for traveling, when you're moving just with the gimbal by itself or storing it away. It's a great way to lock and take care of your gimbal. They're a great feature, however, sometimes I do find if you accidentally leave one just ever so slightly undone, I have knocked it and it's gone on by accident, which is a bit of a pain sometimes, but I mean, as long as you're really, really careful and really lock it up so it's not going to lock, it's great. There's quite a few buttons on the Crane 3S, especially on the SmartSling handle. You've got your zoom control for the camera lens. You've got multiple rings which can be set to different functionalities. You've got your mode buttons as well on this. And to explain some of the modes more specifically, I'm going to pass you over to Rob.
There's many of the modes that you might recognise from the other Crane models, such as pan follow, where it'll follow your panning, but lock you out of tilt and roll. Follow mode, where it'll give you that tilt, as well as the pan. POV, where it gives you the rolling, panning and tilting. And then lock mode, where it will try and stay as still as possible while you have all the freedom to move. Now there's two new modes with the Crane 3S. The one everyone likes to show off is vortex mode, where you get this vertical camera angle and you can spin it all the way around 360. The other new mode is go mode, where it's just like follow, where you got that tilt and that pan, but it hypes up the motors, allowing it to go super quick. It's really good for those fast-paced movements and tracking shots. All of this is also controllable through the app.
It might look familiar, as it's the same app that you can use for almost all of Zhiyun's products. It has all the features you would expect, such as touch-based movement controls, panorama and time-lapse modes. The calibration, which you can do through the app, wasn't the most fun. Very clunky the way it makes you do it. You kind of have to create loads of yoga poses, and if you don't get them perfect, it won't let you progress to the next stage. I've seen some people online calibrating it without a camera on, but the app illustrates it with a camera attached. So I did the calibration with the camera, creating all these different yoga poses, and it really feels quite damaging to the gimbal or even your own camera. However, I was very surprised by the speed and responsiveness of the motor controls. It uses the accelerometer built into your phone to control the axis of the gimbal, along with strength and smoothing settings. Pretty cool.
A number of buttons on the base gimbal. So on the side you've got the on-off switch, which also has a lovely blue LED which tells you which mode you're in. You've also got underneath that the POV button, the record button underneath there. You've got the joystick at the back which enables you to control the gimbal itself, and the mode button. So your mode will allow you to switch through all of those ones depending on what you press. And at the front we also have the follow button, and we have an FN button here as well, which also locks the joystick at the back. On the side, we have this lovely follow focus here, which is glow in the dark. So with our model, we have the SmartSling option, and the SmartSling option comes with a whole bunch of new functionality. This really unlocks a lot with this gimbal. It enables you to control your camera using different exposure settings using the dials. You can record the camera, you can go to all the different modes, and you've also got a lovely zoom in, zoom out button right on the front there. So there are a number of different rigging options for the Crane 3S. On both sides you've got regular 3/4 inch holes, so you can put your monitoring arm. On the other side we've got a Power Plus pack. Even on the top of the gimbal itself there is a hole at the back here as well. This is a regular tripod size hole, so you can put anything you want in there, and I think this is usually used for the EasySling option, which is the base model handle that comes with this with no extra functionality. So if you've got a big camera or lens, don't fret. The Crane 3S comes with an extension plate. It extends this arm here, which enables you to put a bigger, longer lens on there or a bigger camera on there, so you can have that full rotational clearance for things such as the Panasonic EVA1 or the FX9 or the FS7. So we've had this gimbal for a few weeks and it's really given us a lot of time to really test it out, and we did run into a few little problems with like a slightly uneven payload, where as soon as you had it into the undersling mode it would start to unbalance. We'd done everything we could to calibrate it, to balance it perfectly. However, we did get in touch with Zhiyun and they kindly sent us out one of the extra Power Plus battery packs, which really does add a big amount of torque to it. Although it does add a little bit more weight, it's something that's still manageable compared to what you get with the extra stability and torque from this gimbal. So that brings us nicely to our next point, the weight. This gimbal weighs 2.5 kilograms, which is absolutely humongous compared to the old Crane 2's 1.5. However, the payload of this is double, it's 6.5 kilograms over the Crane 2's 3.2. To be able to handle and hold this thing all day, you really need arms like Arnie. I can manage 15-minute long stints, then I have to have a rest. It is an absolute beast of its own. So Zhiyun have decided with the Crane 3S to go for a two-handed operation. It is something that does give you a lot more stability with your shot. It enables you to see the viewfinder a lot better. However, I do find with the extra weight on the front, it does put more pressure on the back. So it really is that, you know, it's a short stim camera, but it does offer that so much more stability from it. Whereas the Crane 2, you can hold it a little bit more like this, have it close to your body, which lightens the payload. You can hold it pretty much all day, but this really does serve that specific purpose of that perfect shot. It's so controllable, it's so precise, and especially with the high torque batteries that we have with this, it really does add so much more stability and control to each shot, especially with slightly uneven payloads. Overall, I think the Crane 3S is a fantastic bit of kit, but it's definitely for those more hardcore filmmakers. If you're used to one of their smaller gimbals, like the Crane 2, you know, it's a very familiar setup, which is quite nice. It's not been too difficult going straight from the Crane 2 to the Crane 3S. The difference in how I work between these two gimbals is very surprising, and that run and gun aspect that I have with the Crane 2 is kind of lost with the Crane 3. The Crane 3S is designed for that much more precise shot. You really want to get tight in somewhere, you really want to get a really nice, stable, clean shot. It's fantastic for that. The versatility of it is amazing. I don't think I'll be selling my Crane 2 just yet. The Crane 3 is definitely an addition. The Crane 2S, however, may be a different story because I'm using mostly lighter weight mirrorless DSLR style cameras. However, when we do have those bigger shoots, the Crane 3S is definitely a must-have for those bigger cameras, such as the EVA ones, your Sony FS7s. You know, I think that would be the ideal reason to keep this gimbal. And with that all said, I absolutely love this gimbal. It's a fantastic bit of kit. I do want to explore different rigging options in the future, so please stay tuned for that. And like, share and subscribe, and I'll catch you later. Cheers, bye bye.